Hello everyone. Okay, today I want to share my experience of what I was living just this morning before making this video. Okay, and it's very interesting to notice, and it's even things that usually we don't really want to notice because it's annoying for us to have to admit certain things. So let's take my example. Well, this morning I had to open a new bank account. Okay, and I was very irritated about the banks in general because I had many problems with all the banks I had up to now at some point, and I find that banks are very dishonest in a way, and well, I have very bad image of the banks. So this morning I went to a bank that I almost cancelled the appointment for many reasons, because I thought already it was a bad bank and I didn't appreciate things and certain things and so on. Okay, so I went to the bank and, well, everything happened, well, very well. So I was very happy with the appointment and with everything. Okay, and so good thing for me up to now. But the hours after my appointment, I realized that I continued to have bad thoughts actually about the banks, and remembering all the bad situations I went with other banks. Okay, and for, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 hours maybe after my appointment, I realized that I was having those kind of negative thoughts, although it was about past things. And I came to the conclusion that finally I was just, in a way, justifying my bad feelings on banks. Because in a way, when I came out of the bank and from my appointment this morning, well, everything was good. So I had no reason to have bad feelings about banks. But in a way, it was also, I think, the problem inside of myself is that I was in a way denying that it was possible to have good relationships with the bank. Okay, so this experience made my own thoughts wrong because it was happening correctly. Okay, so I think that all my negative thoughts I had after this appointment was just, in a way, a justification of my bad feelings about banks, and by remembering all that happened, all the problems I had with different banks, well, I was allowing me to still have bad feelings about banks. You know, so it's a little tricky, but I think it's what was happening inside me without really noticing it. But when I took a few seconds to realize why those negative thoughts, and I kind of, you know, through the last videos, I almost engaged myself to really focus on my thoughts, to avoid negative thinkings and to look where I want to go. And this morning I was not doing that at all. So that's why I had to reconsider what I was doing, why these negative thoughts. And that's where I come to the conclusion that, in a way, it helps me to keep my bad feelings about banks, because anyway, they are bad. Okay, so that's what is happening. And usually I think we're doing all those kinds of things in order to justify our feelings. So we keep looking at what we don't want in order to justify our bad feelings. Okay, so what I think is that, well, as I was saying in the previous videos, is that in an automatic way, almost, we are living through our feelings, and our feelings take control, like this situation exactly. Okay, why is it so difficult to realize that my bad feelings are just, I have a choice and I have to make over my feelings, and I can decide to look at other things, and it's not interesting to keep bad feelings and to keep negative thoughts, so I should just move on and think to other things and look at what is interesting right now. And it seems very easy to say, well, it's very easy to say actually, it seems very obvious to do that, but at the point you're having negative thoughts, okay, it seems very difficult to come back on yourself and say, oh, hey, I'm wrong here, I'm wrong and I have to change my attitude. And why is it so difficult? Because I think that we just, like I said already, we identify with our feelings. It's what I said in previous videos. I think the title was my biggest mistake. It's that I identify myself with my feelings. Okay, and so obviously if we identify ourselves with our feelings, to deny our feelings seems like we are denying ourselves. So it's very it's more than unpleasant. It's just we don't want that at all. We don't want to deny ourselves. Okay, so I think that's exactly what is the difficult part in a way. It's not difficult, but it feels difficult. It seems almost impossible to change. Okay, and why? Because once again, we identify with our feelings. What I feel is what I am. I don't want to deny what I feel, so I have the thoughts and I look at things that relate to my feelings and that justify my feelings. Okay, and then that is the problem. All the problem is there. So obviously now comes the solution. I'm not my feelings. I have feelings. I'm not those feelings. My feelings are always the reflex of past experiences, are indicators based on those past experiences, not necessarily good indicators. I have to make a choice when I have feelings, and obviously when I have a certain kind of feelings, I see things that relate to those feelings, I notice things that relate to those feelings, I think I have thoughts that relate to those feelings, and I see the world through these feelings. So obviously it's difficult to realize that it's not the complete truth. There are always other things that are different, that are opposite even to our feelings, because both exist. And I'm just perceiving one part of the world, one part of all I can perceive because of my feelings. So it's difficult to say, hey, maybe I should look at other things, although you're not seeing other things at that moment. Okay, so yeah, as I said, the answer is always my feelings are not me, and I have a choice to make over, and at the time I have a certain kind of feeling, it's impossible to see other things than what my feelings are. So I have first to make the decision that I don't want to live through this feeling. I make another choice and I decide to look at other things and to have other thoughts. So maybe I have to take action to do other things in order to move in another direction, and then things change, and then I can see other things, and then I can experiment other feelings. Okay, that's the process. I really think that's the process to change. That's the process to really being able to control our life, ourselves, our life. Make this change through a choice about what are my feelings and what do I want, and then my feelings will relate to what I decided, to what I think, to what I look, to where I go. Okay, and if I can make the difference between my feelings that are not myself and I have a choice to make, then things become easier. But at first it becomes difficult because it seems we are denying ourselves. So I think by keeping only that in mind, here is exactly the problem we feel, because I really think that's a general pattern. I can relate to other other people talking, other things, other studies that have been made on our brain and how we work, and it really seems it's this kinds of process that is happening and that controls more or less ourselves, unless we control the process. Okay, so otherwise, don't hesitate, make any comments you want, share your experiences. I hope you have many things to say about that, and I'll talk to you soon to tell you how I continue to move on. Thank you, I'll talk to you soon.